Hey everyone, welcome back. So here's part 2 of my Punisher comic book collection videos. In the first video I showed off the first miniseries and the first 3 ongoing series of Punisher, which were Punisher Vol.2, Punisher War Journal and Warzone. And they all had been cancelled basically at the same time, which was early in 1995. And Marvel then relaunched the Punisher under the Marvel Edge imprint, and all of this started with 2 one-shots. And the first one you see here with a nice chromium cover is Double Edge Alpha, where Punisher basically goes a little bit insane and goes on a rampage. Then we have Double Edge Omega, in which Punisher basically kills Nick Fury, but obviously it's later revealed that it was only what do they call them? Live model decoys, I think. And so at the end of this book, Punisher gets captured and then gets sentenced the death penalty. That's why we have the electric chair cover on the first issue of the next Punisher ongoing, which was Volume 3. And basically they fake his execution, and he goes undercover for S.H.I.E.L.D. with a mob family. And to be honest, it's a very bland series, one of the worst Punisher ongoing series, if I'm being honest. The artwork's not very good and the stories are even worse. So here we have a crossover with Daredevil, some random villains, and also I really don't like that Punisher sports a ponytail. Really very 90s and very stupid. Here we have Showdown with S.H.I.E.L.D. Then Frank Castle versus Jigsaw again. Then we have a Onslaught crossover, Onslaught Impact 2. And after that came a short crossover with the Executioner, which was basically a sort of Punisher, but who hunts only mutants. I think a very short-lived character. He premiered in one of the X-Men annuals. To be honest, I liked this story a little bit. It was cheesy, but not too bad. Probably the best storyline from this second Punisher ongoing series. And as you can see, this went on for 5 issues. And this series, as you can see, then ended after issue 18 in April 97, obviously. Then Punisher was on a short hiatus. And then in 1998 they came back with this relaunch, where after, I think he committed suicide in not in the Punisher series, but in a crossover with Amazing Spider-Man. I think that was something that went on in the Spider-Man comic books, but basically he committed suicide at one point, and then he was brought back by angels to go hunt demons. And yeah, overall this wasn't a very good storyline. I mean, the artwork is really nice. We have Bernie Wrightson on the covers with Joe Jusko, so these are amazing. And also the interior artwork was done by Wrightson with a few other artists. So the artwork is pretty good, but the story is very stupid. And there was also, this was by the way very short-lived. There were only 2 miniseries, one which you've seen right now, and then there was a crossover miniseries with Wolverine. I know I have that series, but I couldn't find it for this video, so I'm assuming it's probably in one of my Wolverine boxes. So when I get to those boxes and show those books off, you will probably see them. But nonetheless, they were both not very good, and it immediately killed the interest in the character again for a while. And then they came back with a new relaunch, which was done by Garth Ennis in 1999. And this is what really kicked off the Punisher again, for me at least. So here we have the first miniseries, which was very cool. Yeah, here's issue 1 with an amazing Tim Bradstreet cover. I really love this cover, one of my all-time favorites. Then here's the second printing with the white cover and the yellow lettering. There's also a 1 in 10 variant of this one, but it's more orange colored, and on the indicia, on the inside of the book, you see if you have the first or the second printing. If it doesn't say second printing, you have the 1 in 10 incentive book. Then we have a Dynamic Forces foil variant cover with a certificate of authenticity. As you can see, I had to reback this because the back from Dynamic Forces was awful. Really nice cover. There's another so-called regular incentive from Dynamic Forces. That's one I'm still missing and I'm looking for. And by the way, this is done by Steve Dillon, the artist on the book. And now we get to more of these awesome Tim Bradstreet covers. Regular cover to number 2. And here's the variant for issue number 2 with a cover done by Steve Dillon, obviously. Issue number 3, little Daredevil crossover. Again, another great cover by Tim Bradstreet. And that's basically for the next couple of issues, or not couple of issues, a bunch of issues. All the covers were done by Tim Bradstreet. Most of them look really amazing in my opinion. Issue 5, 6, 7. Really well designed, I think. And I really like the style. Issue 9, issue 10, issue 11. And issue 12, which marks the end for the ongoing series, the first miniseries, I'm sorry. And after this, they did an ongoing series with Garth Ennis as the author for most of the issues. So here's issue 1. Again, Tim Bradstreet covers. Issue 2, which was a crossover with Spider-Man. There's also a Steve Dillon variant cover for this one, which I have. Then there's issue 3, issue 4, issue 5, issue 6. And as far as I'm concerned, if you're a fan of the Punisher, this is necessary reading. I think these are some of the best Punisher stories you can find out there. Here we have the Nuff Said issue with no text or speech bubbles. Then we have issue 8 with a nice Wanted poster cover. And these are a few of the only issues from this run that weren't written by Garth Ennis. And they are also the weakest issues in this run. Oh, I have missorted them. Basically, they're out of order. What the hell am I doing? Okay, so we're back in order. So issue 12. Issue 13. 14, 15, issue 16, which was a really weird Wolverine crossover, in my opinion. One of the weaker storylines that Garth Ennis has written. But what's funny to me is he really seems to hate Wolverine because the way he depicts him is, well, he's extremely stupid. So here we have issue 18, 19, then we have issue 20, 21 with the Brotherhood storyline, also a very good storyline. Issue 22, 3, 24, 25, 26. 27 is a nice crossover with Elektra, sort of a little one-shot. Really liked that one. So basically Elektra stalks the Punisher and finishes his kills before he can get to them, and at the end it's just, as she says, because she was bored, and then Punisher asks her out for a date, which I thought was very funny. Issue 28, 29, 31, oh 30, another mix-up, but yeah, another really nice cover. I love this one with Punisher on the Harley. And yeah, these covers are almost all are pretty amazing. Tim Bradstreet's covers got a little bit worse. Worse is not the right term, but his later covers weren't as good as the ones for this series, because they looked as if there was less effort that went into them. But I'll talk about that when I get to my Marvel Max collection. So here's 36 and 37, which was the final issue, and basically brought everything together that he had written for Punisher up until this point. After this one, Garth Ennis went on to start the Marvel Max Punisher series, but my Marvel Max Punisher comics will be a completely video of their own, so I'm not gonna put them in here because into these videos, because it's not part of the mainline continuity of Punisher. And now, even though it's not really fitting in publishing continuity, we have the Punisher Warzone miniseries, which was released in 2009, and I put this here because it's basically a continuation of what Garth Ennis did in his regular Marvel Knights Punisher series. So this is the return of Marnucci, which was the villain in the first miniseries he did. Basically, she was thrown into a zoo with bears by the Punisher, which then took off her arms and legs, but for some reason she was able to return and did this in this series. But as you can imagine, she doesn't get out of this alive. So after Garth Ennis's run on the Punisher, which lasted until 2004, Punisher was sort of on hiatus in the regular Marvel Universe. There were a few miniseries and a few appearances in other series, but it took until 2007, as you can see, till the Civil War crossover, until they relaunched Punisher with a new Punisher War Journal series, as you can see. So the first 3 issues were crossovers with Civil War, written by Matt Fraction with artwork by Ariel Olivetti, who also did the covers. So here's the regular cover for number 1, the black and white cover for number 1, the second printing for number 1. Then we have issue 2 and issue 3. So Captain America's not too happy with Punisher's conduct in Civil War, where he killed off Stiltman, and in issue 4 he actually visits the funeral for Stiltman and kills a few more guys. Then we have issue 5, and as you can see, still Ariel Olivetti artwork, really nice covers. Issue 7, which also came with a sort of Captain America costume variant. So after Captain America's death, Punisher figured it'd be a good idea to honor him by wearing a costume that was modeled after Captain America's costume. So here we have issue number 8. As you can see, the Initiative crossovers and Punisher goes up against some neo-Nazis. Then in issue number 11 he gets confronted by the Winter Soldier before he takes up the mantle of Captain America. Then issue 12 was a World War Hulk crossover. Here's the variant for issue 12, actually the zombie variant. Really cool cover. Issue number 13, Rhino and Spider-Man. 14, fight against Kraven's son. And more Punisher War Journal stuff, another Jigsaw cover, reminiscent of Incredible Hulk 340. Issue number 19, and the Skrull variant cover for issue number 19. So the only distinction between these two covers is this side character who has a Skrull face on this cover and not on this cover. I think those were incentives, 1 in 10 or something like that. Then we have issue number 20, 21, 22, 23. The Marvel Monkeys variant for number 23. I think that's also an incentive cover. Issue number 24. Then we have issue number 25, which was a Secret Invasion crossover. And the final issue of the series, number 26. And then the last book for this video is this nice little annual. So Punisher War Journal Volume 2 was this was the first annual in quite a while. I believe since 1994, and I really like this cover, this awesome Punisher juxtaposed with this sort of My Little Pony background. I like funny. I think things like this are really funny, so I really like this cover. And yeah, that's it for part 2 of my Punisher comic book collection videos. So hopefully I'll see you in part 3. Thanks for watching, and maybe till next time. Bye bye.